Today, we'll be solving a popular algorithm called palindrome. So, palindrome is basically a word or phrase number or sequence that reads the same forward and backward. So, example, if you have something like, let's say, madam, if I should, reverse this madam is still madam. So that's palindrome for you. Madam is madam. With like Abba, 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 and something like Riska. So these words are palindrome. It's the same thing if I should read it backwards. So today we will be solving an algorithm to, determine if a given word is an algorithm. So like I said earlier on, in solving algorithms, the first thing you need to understand is what the problem is. So once you identify the problem, then solving it is easy. So to solve this first, this is .NET Fido. It's an IDE, online IDE, which you can use to solve, .NET problems. So to solve that, firstly, we need to define a method. Sometimes we call it method signature. So I'm starting out, the class will be public. I can make it private because of what we are doing, but this is an access modifier, but that's not the topic for today. So I'm creating the method signature. The method is public and it's a static method. And I want to return a Boolean. A Boolean, it's a data type that returns either true or false. So because I want to create a method that we will use to determine if a word is palindrome. So I can call it is palindrome. So is palindrome, we're going to pass an argument, something called argument. So since what we are checking is a string, that means the type we're expecting is of the string type. So you have data type, you have string, you have int. So we are expecting a string. So I'm going to pass a string here and I can call it str. But you are free to give the variable any name you like. But for me, let me call it str. So I open the method body. So the first thing in solving this problem is, in C#, string A, let's say string A is equals to Lagos, is not the same thing with string A is equal to Lagos. It's not the same thing because C# is case sensitive. So having said this, so let me assume that the palindrome, let's say this palindrome now, it's madam. I have to take into account the capital letter, the first M that is capitalized. So to do this, to solve this problem, because I don't know what they will be giving to us. So to solve this problem, the first thing I need to do is to convert the word into lowercase, and it's easy to do that. The first thing I need to do is to declare a new string. I can call it lower str, and what I need to do is to use a .NET method called str.toLower to convert our given string to lowercase. And in .NET, to like, someone might be asking, what is toLower? toLower is a method of the string type in .NET. So for you to know most of the method in .NET, you need to go through the documentation. Documentation is vital in any programming language. So if you go to the documentation, you can just type C# string class. You will see you have methods, you have properties. So toLower is a method in the .NET class. I think you have toLower, toUpper. We have a lot of methods. So it depends on what you are solving. Those methods are there for you to use them. So first of all, you convert everything to lower. Having done that, since we want to check for palindrome, the next thing I need to introduce is a for loop. So this for loop now, what I need to check for int I equals to 0. I hope we are conversant with for loop. I is less than. So the next thing again I need to do in solving this palindrome, it's I want to be basic. I can actually solve this thing with one line. Mr. Guy, I don't know if you are I don't know if you are hearing me.
Fully, loud and clear.
Yeah. So you understand, I can actually solve this thing with one line. It's not like it's the way I'm doing it. It's pretty basic. It's just the basic. I can actually solve it with one line. So the next thing I need to do again is, since I'm trying to check if I reverse this word, is the same thing. So the string type, this string is how will I put it? It's okay, I need the length. Maybe I will explain later. So I need the length of this string, because I can actually count the characters in a string. So I need the length of this string. So the next thing I'm going to define is to define a variable called len, and to get the length of this particular string, I can now do str dot length. So if you notice, this to lower class is a method, but this str.length is a property. So in C#, you have methods and properties. They help you in, making things easy for you, because actually you can write out straight C# code to convert all these things, but these methods and properties are there for you to use in writing your code. So we have gotten the length of this particular string. So once I've gotten the length of the string, the next thing I need to do is length divided by 2, or then I'll close my for loop. I open my method body. So let me explain what is happening here. So example, you have this palindrome, let's say madam. So in C# and in most programming language, when you want to count something like a string, you start from 0. There are 0-based index. So this m now will take position 0. The second one takes 1, index 1. This one index 2. This one index 3, and the last one index 4. Like I said, C# as a language, and most languages are 0-based index. So if I'm saying length over 2, this we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I'm doing length over 2, if I divide it by 2, so I'm comparing 0, 1, 3, and 4. So I'm trying to compare if okay, I need to finish this algorithm if I start explaining this. So okay, no problem. So I have I plus plus. So the next thing I need to do on this is to now check. I want to do if lower str at index I is not equal to lower str again. You can always copy and paste it, the same thing. Lower str at this length minus 1 minus I minus 1 minus I close this. If they are not the same, return false. So I have to jump out of my loop. If they are not the same, the next thing is to return true. Oh, sorry, I think this is to lower. That's the method. So I have to, terminate with semicolon. That's C# for you. Mr. Ga, are you still on the call?
Loud and clear, sir.
Okay, fine. So let me explain this algorithm before we test it. Like I said before, this is just to check if a word is a palindrome. A palindrome, like I explained here, is you have ABA. If you reverse ABA, it's still ABA. If you have RISCA, if you reverse RISCA, it's still RISCA. So the first thing we did is to convert everything to lowercase, because it's possible that if they give us a word like madam, the first character might be capitalized. So we need to convert everything to lowercase so that we won't have issue when testing the word. Then the next thing to do is to get the length of this character, the length of this word. So for example, I say this madam, and in C# or .NET language and most programming language, they are zero-based index. So the first character M is 0, followed by A, which is 1, then you go on. So the next thing I have to do is, since this thing, I'm trying to check if it's a palindrome. That if I reverse the word, it's the same thing. So I don't need to check everything. I don't need to check from, if I will check the first character, this. So if I divide this into 2 now, I'm having this. So left with this. So if I check if this M at this first character as in the 0 is the same thing. So what I'm doing here basically is I'm checking if this first M, the character on this index 0 is the same thing with the character on this index M, index 4. So that's what I'm doing. If lower str at I, this I now is index 0. So if this M is not equal to lower str at length minus 1, so to get the length of a string, just do that particular string dot length gives you the length of the string. So I'm now checking length minus 1, because this is zero base index. So length minus 1 minus I will give you the last character of that particular word. So if it's not the same, return false. If it's same, return true. So this is within a for loop. So as I'm looping, I will check the first one. If is this M the same thing with this M? If it's the same thing, fine. If it's not the same thing, return false. Is this A the same thing with this, within the same loop? So after defining this method, the next thing I need to do is to call the method. So to call the method is simple. I'll pick this. And come into this, our main method. And then we can try out this. RISCA. Yeah, so why are we still having this thing here? Point I equals to 0, I equals to ln over 2, I plus plus, if lower str at I is less than or equal to lower str at ln minus 1. So this thing should...
I think the lower str should be capital S.
Oh, yeah, thank you for pointing that. For me, I like to do copy and paste that. Thank you, Mr. Guy. Yeah, I think spot on. So if I now test for this RISCA, its palindrome is true. If I test for another one, let me test for a word that is not palindrome. Let me test dollar my company. It should give us false. It's false. So let me test this madam with the first letter capitalized. It's also true. So this is, the solution to our palindrome. But I must add this. This solution, this particular question, I can solve it in less than 10 seconds, just using one line. But at this stage, we are learning. We need to understand the basics like for loop, how to, compare string with using for loop. Basically for this class. So, Mr. Guy, don't leave the person on call. If the person have any question or something he wants to clarify from us, maybe he can drop it so that we can answer the question.
Yes, so I've already dropped the message on the live chat for any question, but at the moment I can't see any question. Although I was hoping you could if we add on line 22
Yeah,
if we print the value of the lower str with index I,
yes.
would that show us so that we can just see um on line 22 we
So,
can we can see what is going on behind the scenes.
okay. No, I don't
I
think
don't think
it will. I
in
don't
a
think it will.
video
Yeah,
it would you I think you'll probably use console.write line
I
for
don't even.
yes, console.write line on the next line.
I think you should. I think. Ah, sorry.
Console
I was.
console.log will not
Sorry.
work.
Sorry. That's JavaScript. Sorry,
Yeah,
guy.
I
Sorry.
think the same
That's
experience was
JavaScript.
happening with Mr. Victor yesterday. He was writing an algorithm in Python, and then
Yeah.
he was writing Java syntax.
Ah, forgive me. That's
So we can have
that's
let's have the console.write line, right? Would have lower str index I.
so okay. That's the character itself. Yeah, you're right. So the character itself. OSTR
Yes,
is I. Yeah, I think you're right.
so that we can
So
see
it will
exactly
show
what is
us
happening.
what is happening at the for loop. So the first one it's giving us MA. Okay, see, okay, let's do it like this. I think it's even best. Lower STR at index I and lower STR at so that the person will be able to see what is
Yes.
really happening. Len -1 minus I. Yeah, I think it's best like this. So you can see what is happening. So this the okay. Let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. So that the person will understand. But I'm
Inside
thinking of
double quotes, we
yeah.
can write
I'm thinking
something like
like
first letter,
using
last letter.
yeah. I'm thinking like using something like I'm coming string interpolation for the person to see what is happening.
Okay.
Um,
So just for the record, anybody who does not understand some of these technical terms, please, documentation are your friends. It's not only YouTube videos, it's not only training on Udemy, online courses. Documentations are your friends. Just listen, read the documentations and the articles step by step, and you'll be able to understand things like for loop, string interpolation, the different concepts, the different methods, the parameters that are used in a particular language. You have documentation for all languages, right? So take advantage of it. Okay, so
very
this looks good.
very crucial. Documentation is key. Even if you are using AI to do whatever you are doing, if you don't understand what you are doing, I bet you just be running around the bush. Documentation is key. So this is telling us line 1, line 2, line 1, line 2. So the first thing is checking this line 1 if M is equal to M. If it's the same, if it's true, the loop goes again. If A is equals to A, the loop goes again. And this last one, this D, is the same thing, because if you divide this into two, the D will still stand out. So this is it, Gar. I don't know if the person can see us.
Yes, yes. They've confirmed.
Okay.
I can see the screen.
Okay.
I think this is a fantastic example. Can we try race car in the, since that's a longer palindrome?
You said was okay. Yeah, yeah. I think let's use Riska. You're correct, so that the person will see it clearly. So this is it. 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Okay. I think that's
We are,
fantastic. Our time is funny thing. We are left with about 11 minutes. But
so
if you have any other questions, please you can send the questions on the chat section.
so like I told them, this thing we are just using for loop. And for me, this is the when it comes to space and time complexity, this is the best. Compared to using something like this is cool compared to using something like link or like I don't need to go that deep. I don't need to go to link using link method. I don't think we need that for this class.
No, no, that would be like a whole nother direction itself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I don't know if the person, you have any question, you have something you want to ask us, or something that you want to understand about the whole thing.
At the moment, no questions in the comment box on YouTube. But I think this has been good. Do you have any other maybe advice that will help in terms of like preparing for job interviews while you are preparing for an algorithm?
So, like you made mention of, the person should, solve algorithms every day. No matter how good you are with algorithm, if you don't practice it every day, you will not do well during interviews. So, register on platforms like Code Wars. The rule of thumb is just do like 2 or 3 algorithms a day if you can, but practice algorithm consistently. And when practicing algorithm, like I said earlier, don't be afraid to fail. Failing is part of the game. You need to fail, you need to fail, you need to fail before you understand better. And documentation, like you made mention, is key, because you can just be solving something without even understanding what you are doing. So with documentation, it will help you understand what you need to do. So when preparing for an interview, one of the first thing you need to do during that interview when it comes to algorithm is to have a calm mind. Don't be scared. If you are scared during the interview, you will fail. And don't be afraid to ask questions. So people are afraid to ask questions. Please explain this thing to me. I've once done an interview, and the algorithm I was given was one I'm trying to remember the algorithm, but I told the interviewer, please explain this thing to me. And the person explained the algorithm to me in an understandable way. He told me what is expected of me. So don't be afraid to ask questions, because definitely the interviewer will explain that question to you. So that's the advice I will give to anybody that is preparing to, go for an interview. And most interviews, they will always test you technically, because these algorithms for real are not meant to test whether you understand C# or whether you're a good programmer. The algorithms are basically to test the way you think, the way you reason. And just know this, it's not a must that you pass the algorithm. I can tell you this, it's not a must that you pass the algorithm. The interviewer needs to see the way you think, the way you approach problems. So most times when you are given an algorithm, there's something called pseudocode. Forgive me, I would have started with pseudocode. There's something called pseudocode. Try to, break it down in simple English. Like example, this palindrome that we solve is palindrome. Madam, first of all, you ask the interviewer, if you don't know what a palindrome is, please explain to me, what is a palindrome? The person will explain it to you, tell you what you need to know about palindrome. So once you have understanding of what palindrome is, you move to pseudocode. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to reverse this word. If I reverse it now, this madam will be the same as madam. So if it is not madam, that means this is not a palindrome. It should return false. That's your pseudocode. Once your pseudocode is right, for you, there's some interviews, what you need to tell the interviewer is just the way you feel. They call it your thought process. Just tell the interviewer, this is what I'm thinking. Most interviewers will guide you in solving that algorithm, because what they are looking for is not your ability to write code. Because believe you me, if you are a developer, with the way the world is going now, if you understand the basics, you can write code. AI can help you generate a lot of things. With what you know, you can find whatever you are doing, but you must have the ability to think. That's what separates you from the ordinary person out there. When it comes to software development or software engineering, it's all about problem solving. So you must have the ability to think well, to think critically. So we would have delved into something like time and space complexity, but for now, just understand that this is the approach to take when you are given an algorithm. So as you move further, you now start thinking about something called time and space complexity. But in software engineering, the key is just solve the problem first. So after solving the problem, you now think about how to solve it best. So that is it from me, Mr. Gar. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It has been a very, very amazing session so far. I would have asked you to solve another algorithm for us, but we have like 4 more minutes to wrap up this session. I just wanted to say something that struck me in your implementation, because I've solved this problem before, but I can tell you the
Yeah.
truth that I have not solved it like this before. This particular way you solved it is the first time I'm actually seeing it like this. And that really just explains how we solve problems. And I think one of the things that people listening to this video can understand is that you solve the problem first before you code. You don't code, like you
Exactly.
said. You don't code to solve the
Yeah.
problem. No, you solve the problem first before you start coding. So, for example, the maybe on a normal day, if I was going to use a simplistic structure to solve this problem, a palindrome is a word that if you reverse it, it remains the same word. So all I would do
Yes.
is to create another variable, and then call that variable maybe duplicate, and then I use
Yes. Yes.
a link function, or use a for loop to reverse the word, convert it to an array and reverse the word. So once I reverse it, I will
Yes.
just check, is the first string equal to the second string? If it is, yes, then it's a palindrome. If it is not,
Yes.
then it's not a palindrome, right? That's one
Yes.
way to solve it. The second way, like you've done here, is to divide the word into two, and then start like
Yes.
in one of the data structures that we used in binary search, right? Where you divide
Yeah.
the string you are searching by two, then start from the middle and then check. You understand? That's something else maybe we would look
Mm,
at another live stream session. But I just wanted to say
okay.
that different people solve problems in different ways. So just like I've
Exactly.
learned from this call, a different pattern to solve this. You may be surprised that in the future, if I come across a problem like this and I want to solve it, you'll be surprised that I'm going to use this pattern here that you divided the the word in the by two, right? And that is just simply because
Yeah.
I spent 1 hour on a call with you explaining to uh, junior developers and mentees definitely on how they can actually solve a problem like this, right? So I want to appreciate you for
Yeah.
giving great, a great perspective.